In this video, we're going to be adding textures and decals. I'm going to be using Decal Machine and our decal packs. Most of these are ours except for two libraries. I think this one is from OZ and this one, the rest is, from Blender Bros. And also my pack, Reuse Mega Pack, right? So if you purchase Materialworks Platinum version, you're gonna get all these, plus you're gonna have access to all the trim sheets, and that's just half the trim sheets because I removed kind of visibility of the textured ones because I want to use untextured trim sheets. First thing what you want to do, you want to go here and you want to purge your scene, right? So go here and purge, delete any garbage that might be lingering, remove all the libraries you don't need, and you're gonna be good to go. Now let's just start with texturing. So in order to texture, we're gonna have to go to cycles. We're gonna enable, GPU compute, obviously. And briefly, let's just fix this here. We don't need that many, 128 will do. 300 samples for render, you don't need more than that. And the noise, obviously. Light path, I'll change it to my settings. So these are my settings. And then the output is gonna be 34440. I mean, we're probably gonna be rendering 21 by 9, so 3440 by 1440. You could go 2560 by 1440, 16 by 9. And then here 16 TIFF. Where's TIFF? Oh, here. And no compression, and that's about it, right? Are we good to go? Now let's go to End Panel and go to Materialworks and turn on HDRI. And you're gonna get these together with the add-on. You just have to load them in, but basically you're gonna get 6 HDRI maps from Alex Central. We bought them from Alex. They're fantastic, created in Keyshot. They're really, really good. Look at this lighting; it's just brilliant. You don't have to do anything. That's that's it. That's a really cool lighting. Nice shadows. Beautiful highlights. All we need to do here is just add some textures, The way I usually texture stuff is I add one texture to all the elements. So, in this case, what I would probably do, go ahead with some base textures. So for example, Cyber Titanium. And then I'm gonna check if it's not too dark. If it's too dark for me, I can always change this. We could also go with something like carbon fiber, but I think this is a little bit too reflective. And, coated titanium is also interesting, right? This is beautiful, kind of like a mattish. I think I might go with this, this one is kind of cool. It's a bit reflective, but, could be interesting. So either this or, again, the Cyber Titanium. This one is a bit more mattish. Maybe I prefer this one. It has a lovely texture to it, you see? But has a little bit too, it's a bit too dark. So go to color, move it to 1, and then just simply drop it a little bit. So it's, dark, but not that dark, right? So you could do something like this. But again, we can do it later. So what I would do now is I would select this one, Control I to invert it, Shift select this one, and then simply go to Mattes and copy. And this is gonna copy the same matte to everything, okay? And now we have a truck from hell. But the point here is that it's easier to texture this way because now all you need to do is just flesh out, the bits and pieces you need to change. So obviously first we need to change tires. So we're gonna go to rubber and rubber tire. And we're going to select this and this and this and shift select this one and copy. Oh, by the way, sorry about this. I need to enable my screencast keys, I forgot. And then we're going to grab this one and these two, because these are not instances, remember, and shift select this one and hang on a second. Is this rubber tire? Yes, and copy. Boom, right? So these are now, rubbers, right? And now we could actually, run rubber on these as well, on the soft ones, but we can do it later. Now this one is gonna be glass on the top, right? So let's go here to glass and boom, right? And also D is gonna be glass, so you can copy, right? And we're also gonna have glass here, right? You could also go with this one, this one is pretty cool. Go to plastic and go to matte screen. This one is pretty badass. Look at this shit. I mean, is it cool or what? So, we could use that one if you really wanted to. But, let's go with glass, it's fine, I think. And the top here, we're gonna change color to something interesting. So for example, we could go with metal, something like, we could make it white just for fun, right? I mean, it would look pretty freaking cool, not gonna lie, black and white. And then we could just, have some fun here. So, create like an orca. But it could be interesting, right? It's a little bit too black, I think. So we could just, lift this color a little bit to make it brighter. I think it's gonna be a little bit better, kind of like a charcoal gray and white. I think it looks very beautiful. But you could, choose different color if you want to. So it's up to you, right? Then these covers on the top could be also white. I think it's gonna look pretty badass. There you go. And then you can just, play around with the themes. Maybe this could be white. I don't know. It could flesh out a little bit of this bottom part here. I think it's gonna look interesting. And there's gonna get black rim on top. The lights could be either dark or white. White could be interesting, though I think black is gonna be better. Then again, we can still adjust the brightness of this texture here. Remember this, right? It doesn't have to be so, so there. Also, you can change the reflectivity, ref. So you can go here on the roughness, flip it, and then you can change it to something really, really, really matte, right? So, you have a lot of options here to play with these mattes. Now it's kind of like a matte track, you see that? It could be a bit more reflective. Obviously, it's a metal, so you can't go too matte on. I mean, you could, but I think that looks pretty badass. These bars could be white as well here, on the bottom. I mean, this could be white, definitely. Could be also, silverish, but I think white's gonna look pretty cool. Same with these. And the plate here could be white as well, right? Could make it white. I mean, you see, because what it does, right, defines the shape here, because if it's all black, you can't see the shape really, right? This, I think, should be black. I think. I don't think this should be white. It's gonna be too much. Now the bottom here could be, I mean, I don't think it should be white, but the rims could be white here, these, you know what I mean? So, could do that. Just to, create a bit of a definition on the wheels, right? So, run these and make them white. I think it's gonna look pretty cool. And here too, right? So select this one, whoops, and boom, right? Yeah, see, that looks very, very cool. So then on top of this track, we could have like a tertiary color, right? For example, this could be possibly white, but I think it's gonna be too bright. Yeah, that doesn't fit. So what we could do is run with a tertiary color, which is going to be, for example, maybe a matte, machine steel, right? Or half matte steel. Either of these. It's going to look very classy and really nice. This could be machine steel, half matte steel, whatever. It's a really beautiful matte. Look at this, right? Then the chassis on the bottom. If we're gonna make this into this half matte steel, it's possible it's gonna be a bit too reflective. Do you see what I mean? So I think I'll keep it black. Okay, I think I'll keep it black. Cyber titanium is fine. Here too, all these could be, and these handles. Actually, the handles could be black, but all that could be, titanium. See, it's going to create this kind of a notch there. These hooks could be white just to create, kind of like a sort of a separation around this vehicle. I mean, maybe these could be metal, but I think the ones on the top could be white just for fun. I think it looks pretty cool, and I'll bring you to the end. Maybe, you know what? Maybe not. Maybe let's go with this one. I think maybe it's too bright. Now here on this one, we should definitely run some white elements here to just create a parameter over there. Does it look good? Maybe it's too bright. Or maybe this one should be white. I don't know. Let me see this. How are we looking? If we go with this one being white, the rest should be white too. Or what we could do is grab these and make them into this kind of a machine steel. Maybe that's the play. And the handles could be white, you know, this could be a play. Let me see this. Oh, I think that's kind of cool, kind of like this. This front here could be white, maybe. Oh yeah, this looks freaking cool. So now I'm thinking maybe this should be white. I don't know. Yeah, no, this looks weird, but that looks really cool. This one should be a glass, right? And these belts here should be, you know, they could be either this metal or, you know. And then here, these definitely should be metallic. This one too. So copy the matte, boom, right? And the headlights here could be, well, let's leave them alone. It's fine. And you know, this could be white. I don't know if it's gonna be a good idea, but you could try. Looks kinda cool, not gonna lie. This should be definitely glass, although we could use a frost glass in here just for fun. So this one, glass, and boom, right? And then let's just copy it, or we could use this mud, you know, mud plastic something, right? But we're gonna be converting this into emissions anyway, so for the time being, I just run the plastic here, I mean the glass here, it's fine. Cool, the same at the back, the bumper, this is all fine. These could be, you know, metallic, so copy this right here and, you know, boom, right? That's cool. And these could be glass as well, right? Now this one here in the back, this could be actually white altogether, I think. It's gonna look pretty cool. And the keyboard's gonna be obviously darker. And then, you know, we can't see the screen here, so we don't have to bother with this, but these could be made of rubber. I'm just saying. So select this tire and copy. The same with these. So these here and these two, they could be rubber as well, right? So rubber. And they're gonna be kind of modified, you see, and it looks much better, right? I really like this white front. I think it looks badass. This one on the bottom here should also be white, or could be actually metallic. It could be actually metallic. Right, yeah, see? And this one in the middle could also be metallic. Come on. Boom, right? Or white. But I think metallic is better, although hang on a second. I think that looks freaking cool, actually. I kind of like this. It's like a mouth, you know. These bolts here that can be the same color as the chassis. Or we could make them metallic, just for fun. So they're gonna be kind of glistening, you know, kind of like shiny a bit. The same here, you know. And the same on the door, right? So select this and, you know, copy that, right? Then the handles here could be, and this one, these could be metallic, right? Even the frame could be, I think frame black is fine. Cool, so now these could be metallic as well. Right, nice, and these could be made of different metal. So what we could do here, let me just save this. We could use this one, the floor, right? This is really cool. So I did this with this. I think this is gonna be better. And we could obviously adjust the size of it, but I think it's fine. And select these, right? And just copy. So copy, boom, right? I think this looks pretty cool. Or we could make them white, you know. This could be white. But a white floor kind of weird. Anyway, then these could also be white, to be honest. but maybe it's gonna be too much. Nah, that doesn't fit. These could be actually this kind of a metallic thing. So boom, right? The same with these, you know. These two pipes here in the middle, they could be of this metallic color, right? The bolts here on the top could be metallic as well. The same with the pipes here, and that needs to be metallic 100%, right? There you go. Now it looks really cool. The same with these, they have to be metallic, okay? The chimney can be black, it's fine. The antennas could be white, actually, you know, I'm just thinking. Just a crazy thought, yeah? Let me see how this is gonna look. I kind of like this, but I don't know if it makes sense, you know. Screw it, let's just leave them. I'm still not sure about these. Maybe, maybe metallic like this. I think it's gonna be a bit better. Yeah, it kind of looks less cartoonish. I think this is the play. I think this is the play. So, what we're missing? This one is fine. This could be actually white just for shits and giggles. We're gonna have lights in here, you know. This is gonna be a light, right? Maybe not this color. Maybe let's grab them and let's make them metallic. You know, and there's one more in here, right, in the back. Right. Let's make it metallic too. And these in the back, this actually could be white, you know, just for fun. Right. So if you're gonna see it from the back, it's gonna be kind of, you know, maybe. Doesn't make any sense. I think it's fine. I don't know. I think it's fine. You know that this bumper could be white. I'm just saying. I mean, probably not the best idea, but I'm gonna try it. Yeah, no. Okay, I don't think this should be white though. I'm gonna make it silverish. So the same as this one, right? And put some lights in there. I think it's gonna be a better play, you know. I think it's gonna be a better play. So how are we looking? I think we're looking pretty peachy. These could be also metallic, you know, just saying. And there you go. Then the beams underneath, I think the same color is fine. They could be metallic, but I think the same color as the chassis is fine. That makes sense. Now the chassis on the bottom could be a different color. You know, this could be, the bottom could be kind of split and could be metallic. You know, you're gonna see a bit of a difference there. I don't know if it's a good idea. Maybe not. Maybe unified color is best. So I think we arrived. Am I missing something? I don't think so. I think we're good. How are we looking? That looks pretty freaking cool, I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so now with this done, we can, oh yes, and also these, but you know, I don't think this should be white because it's going to create, although, no, I think it's better when it's dark. Yeah, I think it's better. So how are we looking? Let's put some floor here. Make it larger, there we go. Oh yeah, we're looking awesome. We're looking actually freaking cool. That is so cool. And we're gonna put some, you know, flooring here. Now, it's a dark vessel, okay? It's a dark car. So if you're going to put something very reflective, like for example, you know, this kind of a floor, right? You're gonna lose a lot. I mean, we have to apply scale, by the way. You're gonna lose a lot of lighting, you see. So what you wanna do is probably something white like this, because you see, you'll be able to see the light's gonna reflect from the floor and give you, you know, a lot of lighting being reflected. So you know, just gonna bounce a light on the bottom. This is gonna be absorbing quite a lot of light, and you're gonna have all these crevices being very, very dark. So this will probably not work very well without some kind of a reflector on the other side, because what we could do is, you know, just, oops, we could just run a reflector here, right? You know, so move it in here, Rx, right? And wait a minute, one more time. Plane, move it in here, Rx. What is wrong with my, oh, we have a custom orient. There we go, see what I mean? So, I mean, maybe not as big and maybe not as bright, right? So we could add some mud here, right? And then dial it down a bit, you know what I mean? But without it, you're gonna be, it's just, you know, it's really dark. I mean, I do like these reflections, I'm not gonna lie, right? So if you're gonna add this, it's gonna have to be, you know, really subtle, okay? Really subtle, right? So let's see. You don't want it to make it look flat, so you gotta be very careful with this, right? Do you know what I mean? So let's see this. You can manipulate with it by adjusting the color. So this is gonna be a flag absorbing light. That's gonna be a reflector, reflecting light. But you don't want to make it flat, you see, because we get this beautiful, beautiful directional light here. So maybe that's the play, you know. We could always render two of them, right? Two of them. And then you can, you know, obviously adjust the wheels. We can do something like this, you know, make it really aggressive and tilt the camera to a Dutch angle, right? So let's rotate this scene. The issue with this one, with this reflective plane, is that if we're going to go with the infinite background, so you know we're gonna do something like this, right? You're gonna see bending at the back here. You see that? You see this bending, right? This bending here. So in order to do this without this issue, without causing this bending, we could duplicate this, right? And move it in here, drop it down a bit, rotate it on y-axis like this, and you know, that's the play here, right? That's the play. See, now he's gonna be fine. You see what I mean? A bit of a trick. So now let's adjust the camera, right? So now what I want, page down with machine tools, make sure you have the view spy enabled, yeah? If you, so go to preferences, enable view spy, otherwise this page down key will not work. Lock cam to view, and let's zoom in. Now 50 mil, I think it's gonna be way too much. I want to run a longer lens, maybe 85 at least, right? I do want a bit of distortion, but not too much. And I want to run it a bit wider, okay? So I want to run it at, let me see this. What happened to my output? Here, 11440, there we go. That's what I want. So let's zoom in, right? Wait a minute. Page down, unlock from view, zoom in to grab it, lock to view, and then boom, right? Let's just move this reflector G, Shift Z, and move it away. Hang on. R, Z, and you have to move it outside of the camera view, right? There you go. And now, you know, I would go a little bit lower, but not too low, right? Not too low. Okay, something like this. And we can always grab this vehicle and, you know, so if you're going to render it from this angle, right, we could always create an instance of it and move it to the back and sort of show the other side, because other side is different, right? So we could do this, you know. You can cut the antenna off, that's fine. You want to place it a little bit higher in the frame, so you're gonna make it look more intimidating, right, like this, you see what I mean? And I'm watching the reflections on the windows, and you don't want to give it too much space on this side. I think this is good. We will need something in here. I think the same vehicle parked somewhere there is gonna look awesome. Now I do see a bit of a line here. You see that? So we could expand this plane till it disappears, and it's fine. And this could be removed in Photoshop. It's, you know, don't worry about it. But I think this is the play here. This is the play. So now let's see this. You see how dark this is, right? We do need it in here, right? So select it, and then you can, you know, adjust it a little bit. And again, you can manipulate with the brightness here, but I wouldn't go too bright, because you're gonna be losing this beautiful directional light, right? So, you know, don't overdo it. And then let's grab these and let's just unlock the camera from view. Okay, we did. Perfect. So let's now grab these empties, right? Press 0 on the numpad, zoom out, and then we can just play with the wheels, you know. I would do something like this. Now we could do a Dutch angle here, but I think because this truck is so menacing and so kind of, you know, stoutish, right? I think this is better. I'm not sure about these should, you know, if they should be white or they should be of a different color. Let me see this. I think this is better. I think this might be better. A bit of a beautiful negative pocket here, negative space. You know, you're losing this white, it's connecting between the wheels, and there's a pull to the front. I think it looks better. Let's see if we can, you know, rotate these wheels a bit more to make it more aggressive. I think it looks cool, right? I think it looks cool. Now, make sure that these wheels are rotating correctly. I think they are. Yeah, I think they are. Cool. Okay, now, so let me see this. Maybe this should be larger. And closer. And let's lower this one down, because when you have so much stuff in your scene, you're gonna be obstructing the light. Also, this one is way too big, right? Way too big. We don't need this to be so huge. We can extend it here on y-axis, but you know, I wouldn't make it too wide, right? That's fine, okay? Just as long as we are, you know, kind of wrapping up this environment here. I think we're looking pretty cool. There's a little bit too much light on this side, in my opinion, you know. But what we could do is we could manipulate with this plane here in the back, you know, angle it like this, and then the light's gonna reflect back onto the scene from this angle, right? And again, this can be removed in Photoshop, that's fine. So let's just save it, right? What we could do is we could add lights to it, right? So we could just, you know, grab these two and go to local view, and we could select these and insert them and, you know, extrude them like that, and we could convert it to a different mod. So we could do it with hard ops. So at the cube, Alt M, Alt click on blank mod, you're gonna have a mission. Then select this one and go to plus and assign a missive, right? And assign, okay? And then you can nuke this cube. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here, plus and emission and assign. And then obviously we need to change the color of this emission, right? So the color is, I don't know what the hell it is, but let's just drop the saturation. Actually, saturation is fine, but we need to make it kind of slightly bluish, okay? There you go, that's what you want, right? And then we could just mirror them to the other side, you know. Hang on. Why is it not reflected? Oh, because they're not mirrored. Okay, fine. Let's do it manually. So assign, and here too, you know, select the face and assign. Okay, peachy. Now what we're gonna do, we're gonna do the same thing with these. So grab these, right? And then we're gonna change the color there from this to emission, right? So there you go. That's your emission on the top. So now if you want these lights to actually affect the scene, as in like shine onto the scene, emission will not do. You will need to actually project a light on it. So you will need to add a light in front of this. Let me show you. Yeah, I'm not gonna be using it because I'll be using Oniric plugin for Photoshop, but let me show you what I mean. So here, let's just rotate it on x-axis, and I would normally move it here in front, you see, and then scale it to the size of the lights, right? So I would just kind of place it in front of the lights here. Let me just move it forward because I can't see what I'm doing. There we go. And then scale it. Okay, all right, perfect. And you see now this is what I would do, right? And move this light in front here like this, right? You see now this one is gonna produce the light, yeah, actual light. You see inside, look, right? So now if I'm going to duplicate it to the other side, right, I'm going to have actually a beam of light shining there. And again, I'm going to be doing this with Oniric in Photoshop, but you know, just for the sake of argument, GY and move it in here, right? And then Shift D and move it in here, okay? And you could Alt D them so you can adjust all the lights at the same time with one. You know, if you Alt D them, they're gonna be linked, right? Linked data. So you can adjust them together. Now this one should be going to lights. In fact, I'm gonna make a one collection called render, and we're gonna move all these things over there, including the camera, background, right? And the reflectors, so render, right? So let's see this. And this one too. Perfect. So we got everything in one place. Now, in addition to these, I'm gonna be running decals and trim sheets. So we're gonna be doing this in next video because you know this one is a bit long. Also, you know what? This one could be white. I'm just saying. Nah, you're gonna lose this kind of a definition here, because it's kind of because the background is white. You have this beautiful design language kind of wrapping it around on the top. I think it looks fantastic. Okay. Speaking of lights, before we go, I forgot, we need to add lights here too. So let me just duplicate this and Alt-M and add another light. And we're going to adjust it to something warmer, right? You know, something really, really, really warmish, right? I don't know, like that or something like this, right? And then let's go here and select it. And Control plus this, and then plus and emission and assign, and we can nuke it, right? And then we're gonna do the same thing for all of these, right? So here, just select this and then Control plus assign, whoops, emission and assign, there we go. And then we have one more in the back, but we can't see it. But if we're going to be instancing this truck, we have to do this, right? So we have to do this. So now here, we could add lights as well. I wouldn't like, you know, add lights everywhere, but we could add lights on the inside here. So let's see if this is not gonna be too much, right? So emission, and I think red is fine. Let me see this. I think this is fine actually. Here too, we could have some, you know, lighting on these. I think this would be much more interesting, honestly, if we had kind of like a narrow cut in here, you know? So sort of, let me just turn on box cutter. Something like this here, right? You know what I mean? K and slice it. And then, did it work? No, it didn't. Wait a minute, what happened? Let me just grab a T panel, D, okay. Let me just try this again. Okay, and then let's press K and slice it. It should have worked, there we go. And what I would do here is, you know, squash this a bit and maybe even bevel this a little bit, right? The geometry is going to be absolutely atrocious, but don't worry about it. And what we could do, in fact, you know, I'm going to clean because I can't look at this. This is terrible. Let's just Alt Control X them to dissolve them. And Control X, there we go. And then what we could do is, you know, sort of, the bevel is too big, yeah, so just drop the bevel and apply weighted normals. And we're going to nuke this one, and let's go back, and where is this? Let me just hide this rendering for a second. We're going to Shift D this on X, right, to here, and they already mirrored, perfect. So now, plus and, you know, emission assign, and I think the same here, so plus and emission assign. How we looking? And you know, this could be different, so we could click here, unlink this data here, right? Unlink the data. We could change the color to something, you know, something different, right? And make it stronger. So, you know, and let's copy this hex here to this one, right? Boom, right? So this is, you know, it's a bit of a different color than this here. And this technically could be the brighter color. I mean, also, you know, I was thinking that maybe it's not the best idea to make it so broad. Maybe we just have to make it a little bit less. This is mirrored and instanced, which means if you fix one, you're fixing all of them. This is the cool thing, because there's an array going here and double mirror. So you have to fix on the one, you see. That's the advantage of it now. So we could just run with this one, you know. I think it's gonna be a little bit better. And you see, like, less aggressive. I think it's better, but you know, that's me. Anyway, that's cool. And then also here on the front, I was thinking that we could grab these, right? And insert them a little bit. Extrude them. One more time. Insert them. Extrude them. Scale them on individual origins, right? And then we can add another color here too. So we could make this the red emission, or go with the theme. Let's see how this is going to look, right? Let's see how this is going to look. Let's just go to render. I think it's gonna be fine because we got warmish color here and also here in the front. In fact, what we could do is duplicate this to the back here as well, because you know this truck is super wide, so we could use some, you know, do you know what I mean, something here, yeah, on the bumper. Where is it? So it could be lower here, right? You know, right? How is it looking? Just put it deeper. It's fine. Boom, right? So it's going to create a visual anchor, and you're going to be kind of traveling between the warm points on the vessel. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and you're kind of stuck in this infinite loop, you know. I think it's going to be fantastic. These on the top, I think they could be either white or silver. No. In fact, you know what? I think this one is fine. Yeah, this is fine. It's gonna be really reflective, so I think this is fine. Perfect. Okay, so let's save it. And now in next video, what we're gonna do, we're going to add some decals because it's also gonna take a bit of time, right? And before we go, you know what? I wonder. Nah. How about these? See, a little bit of a kind of a, you know, a bit of a different feel there, you know what I mean? A bit of a different feel there. I think it's better. But that's me. Cool. Cool. Also, this one could be put a little bit deeper, you know. So G and XX or YY, whatever. ZZ. There we go. Put a little bit, let me see this. So we're gonna have this kind of a nice, there we go, nice shadow in here. I think it's a bit better. Okay, well, let's save it, right? And we're good to go. So now let's put it here and say, let's change the decals and save it. Run the power save, and I'll see you in the next video.